The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Hi, guys. How are you? We're back. Good to see each and every one of you. It is time for another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book, and it's not just me. Dave Sharapan is back. I'm Matt Perrault. We're live on YouTube at Boston versus the Book, same on Twitter and X, replayed on Sports Grid TV and channel 159 on Sirius XM. Dave, I'll speak for the Brigade. They are very happy to see you. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Good to be back, boys. Can't give you a complete explanation yet as to my whereabouts and what I'm doing and all this other stuff, but just keep the positive vibes going. I am very happy to be here. I am sorry that I missed, but thank you to Emerson for stepping in and for Pete Futak for stepping in. JY came in, lit the place on fire, talking about the WNBA. Got people coming at him. Listen, you can keep coming. Just keep shooting. Keep firing. Get in the chat. Say hello. Good to be here, boys.
So today we're going to be joined by Raheem Palmer here in about 8 minutes or so from The Ringer. We'll talk about the NBA tonight and the game last night with OKC punching their ticket to the NBA Finals. Then we'll get to Michael Dwarte. We'll do an Ohtani watch in a different type of way. We won't talk about Ohtani. Michael Dwarte from NBC Sports Los Angeles, he'll come on and talk about Ohtani, as article in the Bleacher Report, which is pretty interesting, saying that the bang for the buck with Ohtani has not been there, that they paid him $700 million with the expectation he was going to pitch. So the Dodgers are getting a little antsy as to why he hasn't pitched yet. So interesting for a guy who's hit 20 home runs and leads Major League Baseball right now in that category to say he's not delivering. He won the MVP last year. He's not delivering on the contract. Okay, that's a little bit harsh. I'm not sure I would agree with that, but we'll get to Michael Dwarte.
What the hell? Somebody actually said that out loud?
Well, not just said it, they wrote it out loud. They straight up and wrote the fact that the Dodgers are desperate for Ohtani, for the Ohtani that they paid $700 million for.
A World Series in a 50-50 season.
Yep. Not good enough.
There's more merch all over the place from like stuff. I mean, I always like the Dodgers merch, but like there's now Ohtani Dodgers merch that's just everywhere. I don't get it. I don't get that. Wow.
I don't get it either.
We'll
So
ask Michael about that. Good.
I don't think Dodger fans are necessarily saying that, but there may be people inside the organization talking to the Bleacher Report about it and trying to pressure Ohtani and kind of push him forward. Because if you look at the rotation, we'll talk to Michael about it, but the rotation's so banged up. They have 8 starters under contract and they're never all healthy. Like they never have all of them available. So getting Ohtani, he would be one of their best starting pitchers. And it looks like he's going to be a starting pitcher. The reliever idea is still just kind of like when you and me talk. No one really is saying seriously that he's going to be a reliever. So he's going to be a starting pitcher for the LA Dodgers at some point this season. When? Well, he's already throwing the live batters. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, we saw that. I don't know what they want, Jimmy Football. That's pretty crazy. I mean, this is just another case of management's not happy with the contract. Like what you paid it. Like you told them, this is the number. This is what we need you to do. Yeah, well, you can't pitch now. All right, well, you're going to pitch later. Do we need him to pitch? I saw a graphic, by the way, that the 8 guys that are out, the starting rotation guys for the Dodgers, have a bigger payroll than 6 teams in Major League Baseball.
I buy it.
Just those guys.
Is Ohtani's money in that, or is that without Ohtani?
Without.
That's the 8 guys who are on the IL.
Yeah.
That's insane. I buy it, though. I mean, big money, Glass now, and all the money they've thrown around to all these guys. So we'll get to that. We'll get to basketball coming up with Raheem Palmer here in just 1 second. But before we get to Raheem, what happened last night? Well, it was a coronation. We talked to Coach Young, JY, yesterday, and him and I both agreed that it was going to be a blowout, that the T-Wolves had no shot in that game, and they really didn't. From the opening tip, it was all Thunder. They go to the NBA Finals with a 124-94 blowout of Minnesota. I mean, Dave, is anybody beating this team? Is anyone beating the Thunder? They're minus 625 to win it all.
700 today. It moved. It's minus 700 or minus 750. Two things. One, guys in Minnesota.
Sorry.
East out 19. King of car seats. The rest of you. It was fun. But
Kind of.
yeah, no, it's listen, they didn't have a chance. They just didn't. I mean, they were outmanned. And who is going to match that? Indiana? The Knicks? Come on.
No, neither.
I don't think so. I mean, again, this has been a year to chalk, right? The favorites keep winning.
Yeah, it has.
And the favorite. They've been the favorite. They won the most games by double digits. I think the Pacers are fun.
Yep.
Right? And offense can beat defense sometimes.
Sometimes.
But, I mean, you guys type it in the chat. You think Pacers going to beat them?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope.
We got a lot of Indiana guys in here that would think so.
I hope we see a good series, but 3-1, 3-1. There's 4 series. They were all 3-1. Panthers, get to them in a second. They won. Thunder won. 2 teams, same situation. We may have a break in sports. We may have some time to kill here, because the NBA Finals, they don't move it up because the teams make it quickly. They wait till June 5th. NBA Finals start June 5th, game 1.
Next Thursday.
Regardless of what happens
1
tonight.
week from today.
It doesn't matter if Pacers win tonight. Pacers Thunder begins June 5th.
Thursday. Yeah.
100%. It is a scheduled TV show. There is no adjustment.
Well, better get used to the baseball.
Right? Right?
Better get used to the baseball. That's all.
Kick around. And because hockey is in the same situation, because Panthers are sitting there. Now, the NHL doesn't do that. They'll move it up and have it be starting at some point quicker than that. But we could have Panthers Edmonton in the Cup final rematch.
Yeah.
If Edmonton wins tonight, we're going back to that same matchup. And so we have another, we're not getting those high drama series that we are used to seeing in Eastern and Western Conference finals.
I'm kind of liking that hockey will get the spotlight. That'll be good.
In a way. Yeah.
For at least a couple games.
Yeah, right. A game or two. Sure.
It'll be maybe
Just
the lead story, maybe the lead highlight. We'll see.
Problem is it's a rematch, and McDavid obviously last year getting to a game 7 and losing. Is this the time for him now? Oh, thank you, Linus. So it's next Wednesday. So they
wow. Okay.
So we're gonna have a long time to wait. Wow.
Right.
That's gonna be crazy. We're gonna wait 6 days before we get another championship series. So
well, then both teams will have rest.
Right.
If that's the case, you can take away that part of the handicap, the rust thing.
Right.
I don't know. It's that time of year. Kids are finishing up school. That'll be good. It'll be good for a lot of people. They'll have a little bit of a break, and baseball will get the crux of everything.
If the Carolina Panthers were in a different league, if they were an NFL team or they were an NBA team, who would they be? Because
you say the Carolina Panthers. You meant the Florida Panthers?
If the Carolina Hurricanes
were
in a different league, if that franchise was an NBA team or an NFL team, who would they be? Because they now have won 1 game in the last 4 Eastern Conference final appearances that they have been in. 4-0, 4-0, 4-0, 4-1.
Are you taking a shot here at the Buffalo Bills?
I'm not taking a shot. I'm just saying this.
That seems like the obvious.
No, I think the point I'm trying to make is if the Hurricanes played in a sport that had a ton of media criticism, they would be getting roasted today for being, again, a speed bump in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, they cannot get out of this round. No matter how hard they try, they can't. They just keep on getting beat in this round of the playoffs. And not just beat, they get smacked around.
That's the problem. It's sometimes, you can't beat the opponent.
Right.
Okay. They're getting wasted in these games. And they had that game yesterday in complete control. 2-0. And it turned so fast. 3-2. Then they tied it, and I was like, oh.
I was on Carolina. I thought there at 3-3, I was like, okay, building's alive. 3-3, third period. Shoot. 4-3, 5-3, game over.
Yep. Florida's the first team to get to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row. In how many years? It's
just the ninth team ever to do it.
Ever.
Yep. Only 9 teams have ever gone back to back to back. They're 1-1. They lost the first one. They won the second one. Rubber match for them.
They'll be favored.
Ooh. Yes.
So.
Okay. Yes. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Still a question on Skinner, even though he's playing his butt off against Dallas. There's still that question about Skinner.
Yes, but I don't know. I think it's going to be electric. That the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, despite it being a rematch, is going to be riveting hockey. It's going to be good. I don't think you're going to get
1993. I mean, this is 1993. Last time a Canadian team won the cup. Edmonton, this is McDavid's legacy. He loses back-to-back cups to the same team. Oh my. There's a lot riding on this for Edmonton.
I saw a report today that said Toronto, since they're blowing up or whatever they're doing.
The core four,
next year, play one more season and then go after McDavid, bring him to Toronto. If he doesn't get it done at Edmonton this year, will it be time for him to go, I got to get out of here. I got to go somewhere else. Would Edmonton let him go? Would it be able to even be possible? Who knows? I don't know. But I saw that today and I'm like, what? What are we talking about? Why are we talking about this right now?
It's a good point. All right. So StreamYard has done a little wonky things with us here. So let's make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to work for us here with our guy, Raheem Palmer from The Ringer. It works. He looks great. How are you, sir? Welcome back to the program. You're wearing your Philly green. You're living in Vegas now. How are you, my friend?
Man, life is good, man. I'm just in downtown Vegas. I'm just enjoying life, man. I love it out here, man.
You got the furnishings? Everything's good in the joint?
Yeah, I've been trying to furnish this new spot because I was in a furnished place first, and then I moved 4 floors down. So I've been trying to furnish everything. I'm gonna have an office set up before football season. So my background will be a little bit better, but I'm just on the couch right now. Little coffee table in front of me, big 75-inch screen. I gotta add a couple more screens, but everything's good.
You got a bunch of boxing gyms all around you, by the way, in case you're looking for gyms. That's a great place to live for your boxing.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
To go down there and
I've been doing F4-5, but I took a little break. Yeah.
How is that? Is that fun or is that like CrossFit?
It's not fun. It's not fun. It's hell.
Okay. I've heard it's really hard to do.
Hardest workout of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Well, that's good. Well, what's the other hardest workout of your life in the NBA? OKC. I mean, what they've done. They've worked out people. We were just talking about it, Raheem. I'm not asking yet. We'll get to it in a second. But is either Indiana or New York, depending on who wins, but is either one of those teams a serious challenge to OKC in your mind?
No.
I mean, it's just truth.
I mean, not at all. I mean, when you look at historically on NBA Finals odds, this is the second, I think, so they have Oklahoma City at -770 on FanDuel Sportsbook right now. It's the second highest NBA Finals odds in the last 24 years.
And they don't even know who they're playing.
Yeah.
That's because if the Knicks come back, it might be higher.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What, Raheem, in terms of what this SGA-led team is Do you feel like they're finally getting their flowers? Like people are finally giving them the respect that they deserve? Or is it still like, I got to see the kids first before I buy into it? Because last night was another double-digit win at home. I mean, you can lay whatever number you want with them at home. Lay 30. It doesn't matter. OKC at home is an unstoppable force at the moment. Are folks waking up to how good this team is?
I think they're still not waking up. I think this is a historically great team, and people still aren't putting them on that level. I mean, you're talking on the level of, the Steph KD Warriors. You're talking about 96 Bulls. Like, this is really a historically great team, and I think people don't see it. And I don't even know if them winning a championship is going to give them the respect that they deserve, because they're playing either, Tyrese Halliburton or Jalen Brunson. They're not beating a Luka or a LeBron or, a team with that big top tier superstar in the league. So it's just like, I think it's one of those things that we'll recognize 4 and 5 and 10 years from now. I think right now in the moment, people still don't see it.
Looking at Indiana, New York. Okay. Mm-hmm. The Knicks are 4 tonight. Let me double check.
Yep.
4 is the current number, 4.5 in a couple places. Is this a formality that like the Knicks are going to win tonight and then this thing's going to go to the 6? Or, I mean, I'm looking at it and watching the games going, what have I seen tonight that makes me think I want to lay any points with the Knicks? Like, I don't know. I'm looking at it that way. How are you looking at the game tonight?
So on Twitter, right after I think it was game 4, I gave out Pacers plus 5.5. I told everybody just grab it right away. Yeah. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns, he's a little banged up coming out of that game. But more importantly, I mean, you watch these games and it just feels like everything is easy for the Indiana Pacers and everything is a bit of a struggle for the New York Knicks. The Pacers are the far deeper team. I mean, they're going 10 deep every night. And then the thing is, the Knicks, they're not forcing any turnovers at all. I mean, the Pacers, if you look throughout this series, they're averaging just 10 turnovers a game. And you got Tyrese Halliburton. He's coming off of game 4 in which he had 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds, and 0 turnovers. I just don't know how the Knicks are going to win any game if they can't force any turnovers. And, this Pacers team, they're basically a supercharged version of the 7 seconds or less Suns, because they're pushing the pace and wearing this team out. And this Knicks team is not very deep at all. They're very dependent on Jalen Brunson. And then you got 2 guys in Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns who are the team's best 2 players offensively, but they're defensive liabilities. So whatever if they're not going out there and scoring a combined 60 points between them, it's just like they're giving up more on the other end of the floor. So I think, the Pacers are the side tonight. I mean, I grabbed it at 5.5. I don't know if I would grab it now at 4, but it wouldn't. I think this number, my model has Knicks -2. So I think this number was wrong.
Raheem, you're a Philly guy. I'm a Boston guy. I don't know what happened to the city of New York. It's been the most fun thing for me to watch, because before this series, after they get past the Boston Celtics, the city of New York, the city of champions, the city that loves to say all these things, is literally putting up street signs for the players. They're doing this nonsense. I asked Dave before he stepped aside for a couple of days. I said, are we putting up a banner? Like, are we putting a banner up for a second round series for New York? Because now being down 3-1, Mike Greenberg on ESPN this morning actually said that Jalen Brunson is dragging an average team to the Eastern Conference Finals, just completely discounting Cat and Josh Hart and OG and the team, like basically saying that it's all Brunson and the team's a bunch of scrubs. Like, why this New York fandom? What happened to the city of New York?
I don't know if anything necessarily happened to the city of New York. I think New York has just always been obnoxiously wrong. like that's just who they are. I mean, as a culture, I mean, when you get to your first Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years, you kind of lose your mind a little bit.
Yeah, maybe, but
over the top. They didn't win anything, and they act like they won the championship.
So what's the glimmer of hope for the Knicks or Knicks fans? Like, realistically, if they win tonight, whether they cover or not doesn't matter, but say they win by 6 and cover, something like that. They go to the Pacers for game 6, and they're small dogs, most likely. Can they bring it back to New York if they go to game 6?
I want to start with game 5. I think so. Like with game 5, historically, teams up 3-1 on the road don't do well in this spot.
Yeah.
You're talking about 12 and 32 straight up, 27%, 19 and 25 against the spread, 43%. And we saw, your very own Celtics.
Yeah, do the same thing, right?
Yeah, they were able to win game 5, but I mean, you go back a series before that, the Pacers were able to close out the Cavaliers in game 5. So I think you got to take it one step at a time. I mean, as your guy Jaylen Brown says, don't let us get one. They got to get this one, and then we'll see what happens from there. But it's a tough proposition when you're relying on you don't have a deep roster. I mean, I know Thibs went out there and started playing Landry Shaman and DeLon Wright, but ultimately they're relying on Jalen Brunson. He has to be Allen Iverson pretty much in order for this team to win. And he has, and that's not to say he's carrying a group of scrubs, but the way they play offense, it's everything is on him. And then, Cat will step up at times. OG will step up. Occasionally, Mikal Bridges will, show up, but it's all on Jalen Brunson. He has to go out there and put 35 up, and then the rest of the roster has to, fill up. But I just don't know how they're going to slow down Indiana. I think that's the issue defensively. It just feels like Indiana's getting whatever they want, and the Knicks aren't first in turnover. So let's see if they can get tonight. If they can get tonight, maybe they're able to pull off game 6, but I wouldn't bet on this team coming back and winning in 7 because I think they're going to eventually wear down.
Knicks are actually worse at home than they are on the road. So it's actually kind of one of those things where tonight they could lose easily, but I'm not focusing on the side as much because I do think Indiana's live. I think taking plus 150, whatever you get from a money line price in Indiana is a pretty good value play. But I think if the Knicks win, the Knicks are probably going to cover that, the 4, maybe not the 5.5, but they'll cover the 4. But what about the total? Because I'm looking at props and I'm looking at 2 games in which when it has gone over, it's gone over by 51 and 31 points. It's gone under by 1.5 and under by 18 points. Does this game kind of hold true to what happened in game 4 where, as you mentioned, Indiana can get whatever they want? Are we going up and down here tonight and it's going to go over this 223 number?
This is tough for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm struggling with the total on this one.
Knicks and under?
I think I would lean under. I just, as this series is going on, I think, the Knicks are kind of just, like I said, they were really relying on one guy. And so I think if the Knicks were going to win this, they kind of have to slow this thing down. So I probably would go under, but I don't feel strongly about it right now.
I got to ask you, because the last time, the first couple times we met, you were hanging out and coming to Vegas and betting and doing some other stuff, and you were pretty heavily into the WNBA.
Yeah.
Are you back into the WNBA like you were? Are you looking at stuff now? Because, everybody's talking about Caitlin Clark being out, and, but are you into the WNBA?
So I'm into it, but I haven't been as focused on it right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think, a big part of that is just, me, getting myself situated with this move. And then also I'm kind of like, this is one of the first years where I really want to start prepping for NFL sooner.
Okay.
And it's just like, I'm kind of really focused on that. So I haven't done as much WNBA. I think I might have spot bet here and there, but I don't even have my model up and running right now.
Has the NFL prep started?
Yeah, I started looking at like schedule stuff. Warren Sharp put out his his rest disadvantage stuff. So I started looking at stuff like that.
Okay.
So like I'm probably because I honestly I've been so disappointed with my contest performance the last couple of years. So now I really just want to lock in and really focus on what matters.
Okay.
Interesting. Do you think it is a bet on or a bet off Steelers win if Rodgers is the quarterback in Pittsburgh?
You can never count out the Steelers, but I think Rodgers is done. I think Rodgers is done. I just don't see it in him anymore at all. And then they have a tough schedule at some point in time. I think
division stuff.
I think there's a 4-week stretch where I think they play Baltimore. I think they play the Lions. Like they play Cincy. It's just at some point in time, this team just needs to bottom out, get a high draft pick, and then find a quarterback.
And maybe, make some other changes that might be necessary. Yes,
Yeah,
there's a lot of staleness going on, and it's
Yeah.
really hard to get through that. They're talking about
timeline has
TJ.
run its course. It's unfortunate, but
It just feels that way. Yes, it does. All right. Well, last one for me. Now that we're talking a little bit of football, is did you see the Patriots wide receiver number one?
Oh, yeah.
Wide receiver. What the hell's going on there? I mean, like, you want to bet their season wins over now after you see all that? What was that?
I don't understand why they paid him coming off the injury.
Oh,
that was more concerning. And then, to see this is just like, all right, more power to you. If that's what you into, that's what you into. I'm not into it.
We'll talk about it later because I had a big lesson from the internet about what Tucci is. I had no idea what Tucci is.
I have a friend who's like, he's like really into that, but I'm just
okay.
I've never got into it.
I now know what Tucci is. I didn't know what it was before yesterday, and now I know what Tucci is. So, Raheem, you're the best, my friend. When folks want to get your stuff, where can they find you?
They can find me on the Ringer Gambling Show on Spotify, the Ringer. You can also find me on FanDuel TV, East Coast Bias, every Thursday on FanDuel TV. And then, we're going to have the Ringer Wise Guys on YouTube TV and FanDuel TV on Sundays for football. Check us out every Sunday. But that's what we got going on. Also find me at I Am Rostradamus on Twitter. Thanks for having me on. Always honor. We got to hang out.
We do.
I've been here for since January, and I haven't seen you guys.
That is true. We will rectify that at some point in the very near future. Great to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here.
All right, no doubt.
That is the one and only Raheem Palmer joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. We go from a little basketball talk straight into baseball talk. Michael Dwarte joining us here from NBC Sports Los Angeles. Michael, we do something every time. This is how psychotic we have become about Ohtani. This is the third year we're doing this. We have a thing that we call Ohtani Watch. Michael, we're bringing you on for the live version of this, an in-person conversation about the one and only Shohei Ohtani. Michael, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. When you told me, Matt, that you wanted to do Ohtani Watch, I immediately said, I'm in, because it feels like the whole world, especially in Asia, is on Ohtani Watch nowadays.
Yeah, we've become kind of popular over there, actually, because every time we do this and we clip it, it kind of gets caught up in the algorithm. But Matt alerted me to this today, and I didn't know this, and we're going to talk about this apparently. There's people that feel like they're not getting the value for Shohei and what he's done for the Dodgers. Michael, make sense of this for me, please.
I think these people look at the fact that he still has not taken the mound since August, September of 2023. So we're going to be closely approaching 2 years now. And you signed this two-way player on this historic 10-year, $700 million deal. And they think on the field, maybe they're not getting as much value from him in that regard. Even though this guy went 50-50 last year, the first player ever to do so, won the MVP as a DH. And look, I even looked at the deal originally if I'm the Dodgers, and I said, and it's going to be similar to the Mets and Juan Soto, in my opinion, where you look at this 5 years out and you say, you're paying this much money for a DH hitter, a guy who's just going to go up there and bat for you. Now, if Ohtani's going to go 50-50, as a DH every year, then that's going to have value and be worth it. But where they're wrong is Ohtani's value off the field. I've had conversations with Stan Kasten, who's the owner of the Dodgers, who kind of handles the business side of things. The advertising alone coming in from Japan, we were just talking about Asia, Dave. They told me that's closer to $100 million a year they're bringing in on Ohtani on just the Japanese advertising alone. That's not jersey sales, bobbleheads, all the Japanese tourists who come to Dodger Stadium like it's Disneyland every single night when Ohtani's playing. So if they're paying him $2 million a year right now, guys, for the next 10 years, and they're making over 100, I think there's a lot of value there.
What is the outlook for him, Michael, when it comes to pitching? We've seen him throw to live batters. We've seen him throw some side sessions. We've heard 1 month. We've heard a couple of weeks. What are you hearing about when Shohei will ultimately pitch this season?
Yeah, so honestly, this is right in line with what I heard before the season. I was making the rounds on the sports talk shows similar to yours, guys, and telling people, hey, for those of you that think you're going to see Shohei Ohtani taking the mound on opening day, in the Tokyo Dome in Japan or even at Dodger Stadium 10 days later, you're going to be mistaken. You're going to be in for a rough awakening. This was like after the World Series, guys. I was telling him his target return is probably after the All-Star break, late July, early August, always. And that is because this team is being extremely, extremely cautious when it comes to him taking the mound. He is too valuable right now as a hitter for this team, especially as injury riddled they are on the starting pitching and in the bullpen side. And they could definitely use him as a starting pitcher now. But they've been slow playing this. They've been cautious each and every time he's kind of ramped up like he did going into the postseason last year. The Dodgers have kind of told him, can you shut this down? We don't want to put any extra strain or force on you if we don't need to. And they won the World Series with like 2.5 healthy pitchers and a bullpen last year. They didn't need him. So I think that is kind of goes to their proof as a team, as an analytics department that, hey, don't rush this. So they're targeting a turn after the All-Star break. They're starting to build him up just like this is spring training, Matt. And I know you've been out there, so you understand it. Right now, he's thrown to live hitters for the first time. He threw his full arsenal of pitches. He threw a slider. He threw his fastball. He threw a curveball. So it was the off-speed stuff that he hadn't really been throwing in these bullpen sessions building up. So now that he's faced live hitters, you can imagine he would do this maybe 1 or 2 more times, and then you would start a spring training game and you would pitch 1 inning, right? And then the next start, you'd pitch 2 innings. And then the next start, you'd pitch 3. And they want to get him to where he's able to throw 5, let's say minimum, which to me, if you kind of project that out where we are right now, almost June, that's looking like mid-July All-Star break, and so after that as a return. And so these are the steps he needs to take. The problem is he's not just a starting pitcher that can go out in a rehab assignment and do this in Rancho or AAA. There is some days on the calendar, maybe on a Thursday or a Monday, where the Dodgers might be off because they're traveling, where if they wanted to send him out ahead, he could maybe make a start on that day on their off day. It's possible. I could see between now and then maybe that happening once. But other than that, he's going to have to do simulated games that act like real games before a game or on these off days to try to get what would be a rehab assignment for any other pitcher.
It's pretty wild to even think about. The Yankees are coming to town, Michael. This is a rematch of the World Series. And I mean, like tomorrow night, Fried's starting. I'm not even sure who's starting it for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have done this, like you said, with guys just juggling. Like they might call you one day and say, hey, Michael, can you give us 2 innings to start the game? It's unbelievable what they've done. But with the Yankees coming in, playing their best baseball of the season, can the Dodgers be had this weekend? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. The Dodgers can be had. And I think they've shown that here through this stretch. Over the last couple of weeks, especially now they've hit this stretch where they're playing either a first or second place team in their division here up until mid-June. And they haven't even played the Padres yet, who are right on their heels in the NL West. They're going to get them twice coming up after this Padres-Mets homestand. And that's where I think the rubber is going to finally hit the road for the Dodgers. And guys, you can take this clip and put it on all your social media. The Padres will catch the Dodgers and jump them in first place so that the next time we're talking, project out a month from now, you're looking at the Dodgers chasing the Padres in the division as they try to get healthy, as they try to get Blake Snell back, as they try to get Tyler Glasnow back, as they try to get these guys in their bullpen, Blake Trinan, Brusdar Graterol, all these high leverage guys back in the pen. Because the way they're playing right now, they're treading water, and they're playing about 500 baseball if you look at the last month or so. And now you're going against your absolute toughest stretch of the schedule. And it's harder to navigate than like Jigsaw's bathroom in a Saw movie, right? This is how the Dodgers need to get out of this stretch where they got the Mets, the Guardians, the Yankees, the Padres, the Giants, the Cardinals even. So this is their toughest stretch of the season. And right now, to your point, Dave, They got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's pitching like maybe the NL Cy Young favorite, and a scrap heap of guys that they pulled out of the minors and AAA, and a 37-year-old Clayton Kershaw, with one arm trying to go back out there. And he gave him a good start in Cleveland the other day. So, that's good. But this is what they're putting together when before the season, we thought this was the Avengers. You know what I mean? They had 3 MVPs on the field. They had 3-4 Cy Young winners in their starting rotation. So we thought this team was going to be stacked. And right now they're all on the injured list and they're just trying to navigate and get out of this. So absolutely, when Yamamoto's not starting, this team can absolutely be had. And right now it just feels like him and Tanner Scott, this all-star closer that they signed in the offseason, who they couldn't hit against in the NLDS when he was with the Padres last year. So they bring him on their team. It's kind of like when Kevin Durant joined the Warriors after he lost 3-1 to Oklahoma City. He's had 4 blown saves now in just 5 tries. So he's not pitching well. They're struggling on all cylinders, and this is when you can have them, Dave.
I don't want to say that 34-22 is a bad record, Michael. So understand when I criticize the team, it's not because I think that they're bad, but they are 1 game over 500 on the road. They're 15-14. Now at home, they're 19-8. But we were talking about this team breaking the record for the most wins, as you mentioned, called them the Avengers. This is supposed to be the team that was going to win the most games in a single regular season ever. The win total numbers were obscene for the Dodgers, and they're not most likely going to come anywhere near that unless they go undefeated, basically, in the second half of the year. Any reason why they have been a 500 team on the road?
Yeah, Matt, it's injuries. And I will talk about the injuries with a little bit of a caveat there. And what I'll say is that even the players, to your point, Matt, guys like Miguel Rojas was telling me in the preseason during spring training, we should win 115 games. And if we don't, there's something wrong with us because we are this talented. We are this good. We expect to win every night. And you want the players to say that. Now, the front office, however, Matt, the Andrew Friedmans, the Brandon Gomes of the world, they look at, let's say, the past 5-6 years of this team. This team won 111 games in the National League in 2021 and was out in 4 games to the Padres in the NLDS. So they don't look at winning a historic number of games in the regular season as anything, and neither do the fans. All that matters is winning those 11 games in the postseason, and that's if you skip the wild card, which they hope and intend to do. Watching the formula last year, where you could kind of nurse guys along, put them on the IL for months. Max Muncy missed months. Mookie Betts missed months. Clayton Kershaw missed months. Glasnow missed months. Walker Buehler missed months last year. They had to trade for Jack Flaherty. All these guys missed lengthy period of time. Yamamoto missed months. And what happened? They just needed them ready for October. And if they were ready for October, you saw what this team could do come the fall. And so that is the emphasis that the front office has right now. Oh, you got a little ailing shoulder. Roki has an impingement. He was able to pitch through it. Most teams don't have the luxury to be able to sit for a month or two and fix these things. You got to push through in order to make the playoffs, in order to make the postseason. You don't have the depth the Dodgers do. And so the Dodgers saw that formula work with a championship last year. So their importance and their impetus this year is on just making sure everyone's healthy for October. And that's why you see them with the record they have. This is crazy to have as many starting injuries that they have and still be in first place and still be 34-22, like you said. And that's just a credit to depth. To Dave's point, Tony Gonsolin will be taking the mound in that first game against the Yankees. This was a guy who pitched in the All-Star game at Dodger Stadium in 2022 and served up home runs to Stanton and I think Judge. So good luck to him on Friday night. And then you got Landon Knack, who just got absolutely shelled by the Mets in the CS last year. So good luck to him. He's going to be facing the Yankees. This is not the guys the Dodgers intend to have on the mound come October. But if they make 6 to 10 starts here in the dog days of summer and get them to a 500 record so that when reinforcements come in, this team can start to fire in all cylinders come September, October. That's all they give a, excuse my language about,
Yeah. That's fine. This is what we do on the show. You let it fly, Michael. Biggest challenger in your eyes, other than the Padres within the division. I mean, I got the Phillies gear on today. The Phillies are in a doubleheader against the Braves, but is it Phillies or is it Cubs? Because both look pretty damn good in their respective divisions. The Phillies are 22-6 since April 26th. That's the best record in baseball. They actually have more wins than anybody in the National League. And the Cubs just keep scoring runs, finding ways to win games. Which is a bigger threat to you?
Yeah, that's a good question, David. I saw you had the Phillies hat on with your last guest with Raheem, so I went and got my hat because I didn't have a hat originally, and I realized this was the hat show. Yeah, so you got to have a hat, right? And so in the division, if it's not the Padres, and we're just talking NL West, you're going entire National League here. If it's not the Padres, in my opinion, believe it or not, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, the Arizona Diamondbacks are 2 below 500. They're treading water. They're struggling. The Dodgers were able to beat them, I think, now 4 out of 7 so far. But the reason why I say it's the Diamondbacks is if you look at that starting rotation, and we're just talking about a team that could upend them come fall, come a wild card series, come an NLDS, where you don't have to win best of 7, you just have to win best of 3 or best of 5. And in those examples, the Diamondbacks were able to throw Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, maybe Merrill Kelly out there. They still got an injured Jordan Montgomery out there. They have the starting. They haven't been able to touch Brandon Fitt this year, if I can pronounce his name correctly. So that's a team that inside the division a little bit worries me. Obviously the Padres, but you said outside of the Padres. And then outside of the division, to me, it's the Phillies. And why? Look, they've seen the Cubs a lot this year. They swept them in Japan. They struggled in a couple games that were just kind of laughers. The Cubs are playing really well. But again, it comes all the way back, Dave, to pitching. And if you look at the starting rotation of the Philadelphia Phillies, again, if this was a short series and you can throw Wheeler, Luzardo, Nola at them. Sanchez has been pitching well. Ranger Suarez a few years ago in the playoffs got him to the World Series. So that rotation could match up with the Dodgers if they're fully healthy. And that would be the team that I'd worry about potentially seeing in the NLCS, Phillies, Dodgers. That was my prediction before the season. I'll keep it. Obviously, it depends on matchups. Another team that's sneaky is the Braves as they get healthy and Spencer Strider comes back and they got Chris Sale. I just look at these starting pitchings. If you have 2 or 3 horses at the top of your rotation, you can make a run in the postseason.
Michael, we'll bring it full circle here back to Ohtani. He's the 3rd Dodger to hit 20 home runs in 55 games. He just did 50 for 50 last year. How many home runs is Ohtani hitting this year?
I'm so glad you brought this up. This is what I wanted to talk about, Matt, the whole show. And that is what Shohei Ohtani's been doing here, especially in the month of May. You mentioned the 20 home runs. He has 13 home runs in the month of May. He's got more homers than a Simpsons Halloween special. You can take that too, Dave. You can take that. He's got 20 already. And this is what, game 60 something. So I think they said it was 86 games. It took him to get to 20 last year, and he finished with 54. So I think based on where he's at, 60 right now is the over-under number we need to be looking at.
Even if he pitches, Michael?
If he pitches, you might see it come down. But again, you're not going to see him pitch till end of July, and he stays on this tear. You're looking at he's at mid-30s, 40s by the time he takes the mound. And then I could see this happening. And yes, even if he pitches, Dave, there's been games he's pitched a shutout and hit 2 homers in the game when he's with the Angels. So I think where you're going to see it, the numbers be reflected is on the stolen base numbers that he had last year with 59. He's already not on pace for that. He's been thrown out a lot more than he was. That to me is where you're going to see the numbers dip off from last season. But it just seems like the power numbers are surging. They're surging at the right time. As I said, we still have a couple days left in the month for him to break the all-time Dodgers record for fastest to 20-plus home runs. Right now, he's tied with Cody Bellinger and I think Duke Snyder for having 20 before the month of June. But he's still got a couple days against the Yankees, and we know Ohtani likes to rise to the moment. So it would not surprise me he hits a home run this weekend against the Yankees, gives him 21, 22, and he breaks that Dodgers franchise record for most homers before June. And if he can get there, then I think 60 is the number. And right now he's 2 clear of Judge and Schwarber. So right now he's putting some distance between those guys where before he was a little behind. If he keeps staying hot like this, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't, watch out.
No, Schwarber just hit one, so he's now 1 ahead of Schwarber. So literally, as we're talking, Schwarber just hit one. So
there you go. That's how it works. That's karma.
Last one for me, Michael. is there anyone saying that Ohtani should just be a closer? There's not a single person saying it, and it would be so much, in my opinion, less stress if we just knew he can pitch. Where you can go out, warm him up in the 7th or 8th, sit out in the bullpen, come in, close the night. The place will go nuts. I think it's ready made for that, but I'm going to be the crazy one. No one's saying it out there, is there?
No one's saying it publicly, but to your point, Dave, and to go against Matt, no offense, in circles of baseball analysts that I talk to on the field before games, that I talk to in the press box, these conversations are being had between us baseball heads, and you guys are having it too. So people are talking about it. You're just not seeing the Stephen A. Smiths and,
well, the team's not talking about it, Michael, though. I mean, we're
correct.
talking about
the team's
it.
Not,
the baseball heads, we're the ones talking about it.
The
team's like,
sure
he's a starter. He's not closing anything, guys.
Correct. And look, when it comes to Shohei Ohtani, they defer to Shohei Ohtani for everything. Whatever you want to do. You want this mattress? Take that mattress. You want this fancy custom-made Japanese sports bra that you can wear underneath everything you do on the field? Go order it and wear it. We don't care. They give him carte blanche. You want to throw a bullpen? You want to throw a live? So, for example, guys, he was supposed to do his live hitting session to hitters, the sim game, you can call it, I guess, Saturday. And because that game went 6 hours and the rain delay, he's like, I don't want to do it Saturday anymore. So they're like, okay, do it Sunday. You know what I mean? And they let Shohei Ohtani dictate how this is going to go. And so unless Shohei Ohtani came to them and said, I want to close, then I don't see that happening. But this is what we've been talking about in the sports circles, right? And this was the conversation that was had kind of towards the end of the season as the playoffs were getting closer for the Dodgers last year. And it was, well, Ohtani's ramped up. He's been throwing bullpens. He's ready to go. Why not bring him out in a closeout game 7 of a series out of the pen, or the World Series for that? Now, the Dodgers didn't need that. They kind of cruised through after they got through the Padres. And so it wasn't necessary. But let's say you have a full healthy starting rotation. Let's say you have Blake Snell game 1 or Yamamoto game 1, Blake Snell game 2, Tyler Glasnow game 3. Do you need Ohtani to start a playoff game in that case? Let's say he's rolling. You don't. That's when you bring him out of the pen. You don't have to burn a guy. You don't have to, you know what I mean? And that's where I could see this potentially showing up. If your starting rotation is completely healthy and there's guys putting up better numbers, pitching better come October, you let those guys start over Ohtani. And if you still want Ohtani's arm, to me, the Dodgers would probably just shut him down and just say, be a hitter. But if he had been making starts and he was ready to go and he just wasn't as good as those guys ahead of him to start, a playoff game, then I'd bring him out of the pen.
Michael, great stuff. Thank you for the time. We'll do it again very soon. All right. Appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Dave. Have a good show.
Thanks, Michael.
That is Michael Dwarte from NBC Los Angeles joining us here on the Bostoni versus the Book here on this. I will be very curious to see how the conversation goes, Dave, in the next couple of weeks. If the Dodgers don't get their starting pitchers back, when do we see? He said after the All-Star break. That's July. That's August. Oh, I wonder, will there be pressure to have Ohtani start pitching games? If more articles like we just put up from the Bleacher Report, if it's starting to be local saying, hey, wait a minute, we're paying him $700 million to be a hitter and a pitcher. When does he start?
I don't know what the rush is for. I really don't. I understand they just keep bringing guys up. They just keep, it's fine. They have the second best record in the National League. It's fine. You got the stinger handy. Jimmy Football might have missed the Ohtani
missed
stinger.
The stinger. We played it in the beginning. Okay.
He did, but give it to the people. Perfect. I wouldn't rush him back. We've asked this question. You guys in the chat, you baseball heads, is Ohtani going to pitch this season? Yes. I think the answer now is yes.
100% yes. There's no debate he's pitching. Now it's what role. But like we were talking about with Michael, the only people who are talking about this reliever thing are people like you and me. Like nobody else is doing that. Everyone inside the Dodger organization is like, he's a starting pitcher, guys. That's what we're paying him for. It's just because the starter, there's a big article on Yahoo Sports today about the idea that the starting pitcher, most teams would use 20 pitchers over the course of an entire season. Most teams right now in Major League Baseball have already used 20 pitchers, and we're into barely to June. So it's just a different game now. So starting pitching doesn't really matter. It's the back end. So why not use him in the most important high leverage situations in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning?
I mean, did you see the World Baseball Classic when he came in and struck out Trout? I mean, riveting. And it was the World Baseball Classic. It's still entrenched in my mind. Think about that. I don't know. That seems like the role I'd rather have him do, less wear and tear. But
I agree.
Starting pitching is a big job, and
they claim it's the routine. What keeps on getting thrown back is that Ohtani's routine. He's a regimented guy, and to have him go out during the game to warm up, to come in mid game versus the lengthy time it takes him to warm up as a starter. That's why they're saying he would not be ready. He wouldn't be mentally or physically ready to go as a reliever.
I get that. I used to, when I pitched, I had a routine to get loose and start. And sometimes it took a lot longer than a lot of other guys did, but I understand all of that. We'll train you to get ready differently, to throw one inning. Like I don't need you missing at bats. I don't need you. I don't know. Like I just think that like the rush, like Cabro's in there. Just why? Like, why would he pitch? And Nicky Ceramello, no, he's not pitching. Roger Long, yes, he is pitching.
No,
says,
he's
yes,
pitching.
he is.
He's pitching.
I think he is pitching. But it's in September.
Wow, you think it's that late?
Well, it might be in August, but I don't think he's pitching in July. If it's after the All-Star break, All-Star break's in mid-July.
Wow.
Why throw him where are they going to start him in St. Louis where it's 108 degrees on a field and they're going to wear him out? Like, where are you going to start him in July?
Oh, you mean like rehab starts?
Well, no. Was they going to send him down to Oklahoma City?
No, Michael just said that. They're going to have him do simulated games with the big league club while they're on the road.
Okay, that's fine. But again, then when you're going to pitch him in games, it's the hardest, most hot time of year.
Right.
Is late July and August, the dog days of summer. Are you going to throw him down in San Diego where it's nice and put him in that situation? I don't know. I just, there's so much more to just like, here's the ball, Shohei. Go give us 7, 1 earned. I don't know.
It's true. It's not true. I'd be very curious as like what the Dodger fans are expecting. Like, because if they want to just win, well, fine. Just like, I think the home run race, if he's hitting 60 home runs, I think that quiets down the talk of pitching. And if he's doing, like last year, it was 50 for 50. It was historic. We're watching something at the plate that we hadn't seen a Dodger player do before. And so you're like, all right, we're watching that. We're getting our money's worth. We've won the division. We won the championship. It's like, that's the bar now for Shohei. If he's not going to pitch, they have to be in first place. They have to be one of the best teams. And he has to do something that's spectacular at the plate, which as of this point, he has.
It's 2 times though with the elbow injury, right?
Right.
Like you can't mess this up, right? You've gotten over it, past it, everything. He's done what he's done. It's, I don't want to say perfect, but it's really good right now. And he has that thing where I know, like in the house, I mean, even Jess and I were at dinner yesterday and the game was on. And when Ohtani's up, she wants to see it.
Yeah.
And, and there's other people in the restaurant that were like, hey, Ohtani's up. And, you watch him just flare a home run to the opposite field. And you're like, did he just do that? And she was saying to me, she asked me, is he the best player you ever saw? I really thought about that question. I mean, I'm 54. I've seen some really good players. What he's doing, he's already in the conversation. There's no question.
When he's pitching, he is.
Oh,
like when he's pitching, he's the best player I've ever seen. I mean, I've only seen him play in person once, but he hit a home run at Wrigley when I saw him play. So up to this point, and I've seen good ones too. I mean, Griffey would be the guy that comes to mind most naturally to me in my lifetime, just from a 5-tool player, but he didn't pitch. Like he didn't pitch at the Cy Young level.
On top of all of that,
like Ohtani has he has everything that Griffey had, but he also pitches. So it separates him from the rest of the conversation because we've never seen this before. Like we just haven't seen a guy perform. Okay, he's a pitcher. All right, yeah, what is he? ERA of 5, comes in relief or something. No, he's a number 1 ace on any rotation in Major League Baseball.
Right.
He's the best. So he was engineered in a lab somewhere. I'm just glad I'm alive to see it. How about that? I'm glad I'm watching it because it's super fun. It's like one of those stories where my grandfather would have told me, well, I saw so-and-so play, and
right.
And I get to tell my kid or my grandson or whatever, I get to tell them, I was alive when Ohtani was playing. Yeah. I watched Ohtani play in person. I saw that guy. So time for Better to Book. All right, I'm going off the beaten path. So there's 5 baseball games today. I didn't like any of them. I'm ice cold, no pun intended, with hockey. I don't know what to do with it tonight. I think Edmonton wins tonight, but I don't know because Dallas may have something for him tonight.
Okay.
So I'm staying away from hockey. I'm just going 2 player props or 3 player props because we have the BvB prop of the day.
Okay.
I think Karl Anthony Towns, I know he's a bit banged up, but
wow.
I think over 32.5 points in rebounds, shoot the knee up. Let's go play. He's been consistently, he's got this in 3 out of the first 4 games of this series. He's gone over this number. And mostly it's because he's scoring about 24 points a game. He gets that again. We should wind up going over this number again for Karl Anthony Towns.
Wow.
How do you feel about him tonight?
My first thought is under, but I don't know how healthy he is. And that's the only reason. It's just the number set trouble with him in mind, with the foul trouble, with the health and all that other stuff. So first lean here, I would say this is a book it. I say it goes under.
Halliburton has gone over this number 3 of 4 games. He's coming off a 15 assist game, over 9.5 assists for Tyrese Halliburton. In game 1, game 2, he had 11 each in games 1 and game 2 in New York.
Yeah, this is a bet. Now, I got guys for years that would just go, he played a perfect game last game. There's no way, and they would bet all these props under.
Right.
But the assist prop, I like.
I think the game goes over. I mean, I like Indiana tonight. I don't think the Knicks they just don't have the horses to hang with this Pacers team. And the 2 games that have gone over by 31 and 51, like we talked about with Raheem. I think this game goes over. I think the Pacers win the game outright. I think this is New York's not going to lay down at home, but I really want them to. I want this to be an ass kicking tonight.
I'm surprised that it's not higher. Like the number, I thought closer to 230.
Okay.
So it's 224, 223.5. Mm-hmm. I like over. I like this assist prop over too.
The only thing, and I've not bet this, but I might bet this. If I do bet this, over 6 Edmonton, Dallas. How do you feel about the total in the game tonight? Elimination game, pull the goaltender. Edmonton could score 4, but Dallas could score 4. Like, when does Skinner turn back into a pumpkin? Like, he's standing on his head. Like, Dallas can't score.
That's why I like under.
Right, but what if they do score? They have to score to win. So, maybe Dallas breaks out of it tonight and Rantanen goes back to what he was doing a couple of games ago. He's been a ghost.
Yeah, they got him on lockdown. Sidewise.
Edmonton or nothing?
Hard to bet Dallas tonight. Really hard to bet Dallas. Really, really, really hard to bet Dallas. But it's not hard to bet Oettinger. I think it's an under game, right? Yeah. I think you get everything possible from Dallas tonight, and that means a defensive game. I don't think they win 5-4.
Well, they have.
I know. I don't think
in this
tonight
series they have. I mean, it might be the only way they can win. it might be how they win this game to elongate the series. I mean, 6-3 in game 1. That's how they won. It may need to be 6-3 again. The only game that they've won in the series has been 6-3.
Maybe can they repeat that?
No, doubt it.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's Edmonton. I mean,
I like under. I mean, it
Yeah.
might be 4-1, 5-1. It may, 4-2, something like that.
First move was to the over, which is kind of like, wow. I was surprised at that.
Yeah,
It's 5.5 to 6.
Right. Well, again, if you know it's the elimination game, then you
Open
go
it.
over.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. Pull it, and yeah.
You saw it the other night. There was 3 empty netters in the one game. Which game was that? I can't remember, but there were 3. I was like, oh boy, that went 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1,
6-1. Yeah, it was a
whatever
6-1. It wasn't an elimination game, but it was.
No, but it was.
They pulled it early. Florida scored 3 goals to make it 6-1. Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous. I don't know. I'll be watching that. I'm actually interested in the basketball. I got to be honest. Have you been watching the basketball as much as the hockey, or vice versa?
I've been watching basketball way more than watching hockey.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think hockey series have been all that entertaining.
Okay.
I don't think they've been all that interesting, to be quite honest. I mean, basketball is a little. I mean, one, I really like this Thunder team a lot. I think it's wild to watch the people who are trying to discredit SGA and saying it's a referee thing. He's just getting to the foul line. He's not that good. Like, he's 6'5" and he's a magician. And again, I would have voted for Jokic. He's my MVP, but it doesn't mean I don't massively respect what SGA is doing. So I love watching him play. And then I hate watching the Knicks. It's so fun to hate watching the Knicks. So that's why I'm watching that. But I really want Dallas. I mean, the only ticket I got in the NHL is I have a small ticket on the Dallas Stars to win the cup. So I've been pulling for Dallas all year.
Right.
Watching Dallas in this series has been extremely frustrating because Florida is by far, Edmonton by far is the better hockey team. Like, you watch this, and it was the same thing like watching Edmonton against Vegas. I could not make a case for Vegas to be the better hockey team watching Edmonton. And it's the same thing with Dallas. I can't make a case. I can't watch the game and be like, yeah, the Stars are the better hockey team. They're going to be able to win this.
No. Shout out to Gio DeWap and the boys out in Seal Beach. They're watching us on the bar. Got us up on the screens there.
Very cool.
And little Lucan won his first hoop game by 1 in overtime. So congratulations, Gio. And tell Lucan I said hello.
Very cool. Very cool. We're going to go back to basketball here for the prop bet of the day. I'm going to go and look at the heart and soul, no pun intended, of the team for the Knicks. And I think Josh Hart's going to have a big game today. It's an elimination game. Brunson in elimination games so far, he's played in 3 of them with the Knicks. He's averaging over 33 points a game in those elimination games. But equally, it's been Josh Hart with rebounds, putbacks, all the dirty work to get this team to stay alive. I do think there's a shot that the Knicks stay alive here tonight. I want the Pacers to blow them out and end this, but I feel like this could be very much like the Celtics series where Boston wins game 5 at home. They lost game 6 badly on the road. I think the same thing could happen to the Knicks. I think game 6 could be a rout in Indiana, but the Knicks might win game 5. That's why I'm going Cat over and Josh Hart over. Points, rebounds, and assists.
I think this could be a bet. I hope the Knicks do extend it. I want to see it, go to game 6. And maybe Pat will go to the game and call someone out again. Something like that. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that. Listen, let's give the Knicks fans hope.
Why?
You want another day to hate watch them.
Fine.
You'll get another game over the weekend.
They will never live this down.
What is that?
They will never live it. They renamed the city streets, Dave. After they beat the Celtics, they renamed the city streets after Knick players. I mean, there's an awesome article.
Josh Hart
Street, OG Anobi
Alley. And who's that on the bottom?
It's a joke. Campaign place.
What are we doing?
Exactly. What happened to that
decision?
What happened to the city of New York? What happened? Like the Yankees got their American League championship rings today, Dave.
Oh, well, that's nice.
The New York Yankees gave their players American League championship rings. Like, what happened to the city of New York? It's unbelievable. Like, only people in the Northeast fully understand how wild this is to watch. But they're acting like they're, I don't know, like Kansas City. Like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. The level of, we're going to accept just being good. It's okay. It's like the whole participation trophy conversation. Like, New York is like 10 years later than everybody else, but now they're even buying into this, being like, well, they did try so hard. You got to give them something.
Man,
what's going on?
Let's go, Knicks. I hope they win tonight.
Looking for anything to celebrate. Yep.
Been a long time.
Football guy. Hey, the juice is on the juice. You heard what I said. Just because it's not on this show doesn't mean it didn't get bet. It got bet. Obi Toppin points and rebounds over. Yes, over? It's still a play. But I added. Okay. I gave you an extra one.
There you go.
I gave you Josh Hart. So now you have 4 props you want to play.
Wow.
You play 4.
Crap. Oh,
I like to make the prop bet of the day different. And so I wanted to put the hockey game in there for somebody to book it. So
okay,
that's
good.
why I left it up. Who the hell cares about Obi Toppin? Like, whatever. It's just
what bet. Was that bet? PRA?
Points and rebounds, 10.5. Over 10.5 points and rebounds.
Juice favorite
minus 120, I think I paid.
Okay.
On it. Nothing extreme on it, but that was the other bet if you would like it. I mean, if you had to bet the game tonight for Edmonton, Dallas, would you take Edmonton? Take the points, take the plus?
Yeah.
I think you have to. It's Edmonton until further notice, until Dallas shows any sign of life, sign that they want to be in it and they can score. Because they can't score right now. Skinner is a brick wall.
Edmonton's playing great.
They really are.
They just
but Hyman being out, you really wonder what
that's the problem.
This would be the first game with Zach Hyman after Zach Hyman got hurt and he had surgery on the shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern. He led the NHL with 111 hits. We talked about it yesterday. That's my wonder. Like, how different will Edmonton look now? Because sort of that physicality is going to be lost with Zach Hyman not available.
I think it'll affect the other lines more because you have to, you move him off the top spot, you put somebody in, and then, those guys will play together. Draisaitl and McDavid will be okay.
Yeah.
Hyman saw a lot of time on a power play. It's a big adjustment. It's only one guy, but there's 3 lines that get affected by that. So we'll see early lines 2 and 3. I still like Edmonton.
I do too. I like him tonight.
Yeah.
And it might play a role in the Florida series though. So like not having Hyman available that's not great for the Oilers going into the Cup finals.
I don't think there's anything right now, whether it's Dallas and an amazing comeback or Edmonton and quick, that's going to make me say somebody's beating the Panthers.
Back to back. Okay.
Yeah.
They're good. I mean, the Marchand addition's been great for them.
Oh, it just worked out perfectly. It's all Bobrovsky's back. They're physical and nasty as could be. They take, whatever liberties they want. They are a solid top to bottom hockey team.
Here is one for you. This is not a better to book it or a prop bet of the day. It's a question. Over or under? So the Nats are at the Mariners tonight.
Okay.
The K prop for Mackenzie Gore is 7.5. He leads Major League Baseball with 13.4 Ks per 9 innings at the moment.
What's the juice?
It's basically minus 120 to the
Pick
over.
him.
It's nothing too crazy. It's
okay.
Juiced a little bit to the over. Over or under Mackenzie Gore strikeouts tonight? On the road.
7.5. Visiting
big
team.
number.
I think yes.
Over.
I do. First thought is yes. I gotta let me double check here. Let's see if I can find some quick notes on that game.
It's on Fox Sports 1 in case you guys want to watch it. Nationally shown game tonight. Seattle is a slight favorite at home. Gore has 93 strikeouts in 21 walks and 62 in the third innings worth of work.
Gore's good to go. despite leaving his last start Friday versus the Giants in the 7th inning due to a Charlie horse suffered on a Willie Adames liner that struck his left leg in the second frame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's all right. 9-9-7-9-6. His last 5 starts. By the way, bases loaded 4-4.
I know.
Bottom 9 Phillies and the Braves. Drama in game 1.
Oh, it's the 8th.
Oh, it's the 8th.
They're going to have to get through. They're going to have to get 3 outs.
Okay.
Wow, Washington's live tonight.
Okay.
In that game. Yeah. I think that's it's going to fall 7. If it doesn't go over, it's going to fall 7.
Yes, I would agree.
Right? That's a good number.
Yes. 7's what he got against St. Louis. Gave up 4 earned runs in that game. He's been really good. 1, 2, 4, 1, 3 earned runs. The team has lost 3 of the last 5 starts, however.
Right.
With him pitching. But it's because it's the Nationals, and, well, the Nationals are 25-30. They're not horrible, but they're 12-16 on the road. My first lean would be under.
Let's see. 23.0 K percentage in 2025, 7th highest in Major League Baseball for Seattle. So keep that in mind. I like over.
Okay.
I like over with the K prop. I think Washington's live though.
Ooh, little was that plus 130?
Plus
even money.
20, yeah, plus 110, depending where you shop.
Even money on some places too. ESPN bets.
Oh yeah, wow, it's down to minus 115 in some places. Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
So, some money coming in there.
Right.
News of the industry time. This is when we take a look at what's happening in the sports betting world. Our friends at ingame.com came up with a very interesting story, and they did an analysis of Kalshi's overall handle going from January 1st to now. We might have been a little bit premature to jump in and see that Kalshi was going to be a big factor in the sports gambling world. They are legal in all 50 states, but they currently are occupying just 0.5% of the U.S. betting market revenue. Not handle.
0.5%.
0.5%. Yep, 0.5% of overall. Were we a little bit too quick on this to worry about Kalshi? Because $15 million over the last 90 days in revenue, dwarfed by the top sports books. Business still needs a major growth to catch up with its rumored valuation, which is considered to be quite high by those who are looking at such a thing with Kalshi. Is it just people need to learn about it and they're fighting all this court battle so they can't market the way they want to market? Or is there less of a marketplace for a sports prediction market?
I think there might be a little bit of truth to both of those statements. I think they're way behind as far as just starting and comparatively to the, biggest books. 2, it's not readily known, accessible to a lot of people. So they have to get that message out there. 3, it's like, what's the analogy I want to use? When you're really comfortable and you have everything already set up, and then you want to go like, why would I want to go do Kalshi? Like, it's hard to get someone. You saw what happened in the business with taking somebody and stealing customers and having to give incentives and all this other stuff. Right. They're not doing any of that. They're like, hey, we're open. So acquiring customers is a lot harder / different than it was just even, I don't know, a couple years ago.
I feel like the learning curve. We talked about this a lot, a couple of years ago, but like when somebody walks into the book for the first time, they look up, they stare at the board, and they see numbers on numbers on numbers, and they go, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. What am I looking at? I feel like even people who are experienced gamblers are doing a similar thing when they open up Kalshi, and they're like, what am I looking at? Like, what am I betting on? Like, why is this a valuable play? Like, what is this? So I think that there is a big learning curve, and the lack of parlays. Until they're able to do parlays, they're never going to threaten DraftKings and FanDuel. Like, you're just not going to threaten them. If you can't parlay this stuff together, you're never going to be the threat that we think that they could be one day.
As far as volume.
Yeah.
There's still going to be a place where people will go for bigger bets.
Yeah.
I mean, and moving money and doing all kinds of stuff. They're going to do that. I can't believe though, like they are still very just aggressively just saying all this stuff out there, like the articles and stuff that our guys are writing there. It's wild to see. They just kind of, push that envelope every time. And last time we were together doing a show, we were talking about how the CFTC is changing, and
right.
a couple people watching the store, so to say, and apparently the guy that's going to take over has to divest all of his
he's a
holding
board member of Kalshi.
Yeah, so he got paid in stock and different things like that. Seems all like perfectly normal.
Oh yeah, perfectly normal.
What the hell's going on?
Perfectly normal. Let's take people. He's going to be policing his friends. No conflict of interest there or anything. No.
Yeah.
And the person that used to run the CFTC, she's going to a lobbying firm to go back and lobby the CFTC on behalf of the company that she's working for. So no problems with that. Like that's perfectly cool.
I missed my call. 100%. I should have been a lobbyist. Now that I know what a lobbyist is, I would have.
Something else, man. It really is. It's such a weird, wonky thing.
Yeah.
Our guy David Payne Purnham had this article out this morning.
5-4 Phillies, by the way, bases loaded. They got hit by a pitch. It's 5-4. The bases are still loaded. Continue.
The amount bet on NBA basketball has declined approximately 10% year over year this season, according to the gambling research firm, the Ehlers and Krychek. That was the approximate decline in NBA betting handle for the 24-25 season versus the prior calendar year. This is from Colorado, Illinois, Maryland, Nevada, New Jersey, and Oregon. Revenue across the same period was up 1% year over year, with multiple operators pointing out the soft NBA performance on recent earnings calls. The handle decline was driven by a macro and sport-specific trends. On a structural basis, handle has been low growth thanks to declining promo levels, as well as the ongoing shift to higher margin, lower stake products like same game parlays. NBA specifically, FanDuel noted, less competitive matchups resulted in larger spreads and therefore less betting appetite from customers. This is, I can't get enough of this topic, Dave. The earnings calls are things that I'm not sure sports books should ever do, because they are forced to say things like the public beat us.
Yep.
And make it sound like a bad thing. Like they're almost like vilifying the customer that beat them. And they're like, well, the customer, it just was one of those things. High variance, big blowouts, it was just one of those things where they're complaining where the public's like, well, wait a second. Like, that was my money you were bragging about taking from me when you're on that earnings call last year. So I got it back from you this year. And now you're crying wolf and running to the street and saying, we're really sorry, but these games didn't go the way we thought they were going to go.
So we used to have, these weren't earnings calls, but we would have these calls in the book with the higher ups. They'd be like, what happened? We lost. Why? Because they won. And they were like, we had guys.
Why did they win? Why did they like?
Well, they can win too, right? Like, that can happen, right? When I was in the meetings, it was very brief because I was like, what are you looking for? What there were 15 NFL games this week. 12 favorites won. Yeah, we lost. Well, how can you prevent that? Close. Like that. You want us to not take bets? We won't lose. We won't win, but we won't lose. The bad teams won. So, or the non-public teams won. So now handles down because people aren't interested in betting the OKC games and Minnesota games like they would have been if it was Lakers and Dallas or something, whatever. You can give them whatever answers they want to hear. You're absolutely right. These earnings calls are fascinating because it's like you got guys in there who have to answer for the public money and investment money and all this other stuff, and they can't say what they really want to say. Like, we lost.
We lost.
That's
what happened.
Yeah, or we didn't win as much as we would have won had the underdogs covered more.
But think about it, right? So it's like you could have set a line last night of minus 25.
Right.
And OKC would have still covered it. So they're like, well, why didn't you set the line differently? Why do you? Because I didn't know it was going to be a blowout. I can't set a number of 15. The bad guys are going to come in and drop $1 million on my head. And what happens if we're wrong? What happens if it's a 2-point game? Now I'm getting killed. I just think it's such an interesting thing. The whole give and take about line making having to be talked about, why a line is set to where the line was set, and why you lost on an NFL game or an NBA series or whatever it might be, and having to say it a month later or sometimes 3 months later. If it happened at the beginning part of the quarter, you're doing these quarterly calls. You're talking about a quarter later. Why did you guys lose that playoff series?
It's immaterial.
Right.
The betting aspect of it is still gambling. It's still, and the book's job is to minimize risk. So when Whitrock just said it, this isn't the lottery where you win every time. This is sports betting. Even the book can lose. Some of the best work, Butchie said this to me in a conversation recently. We were talking, and he said, the problem with what we do? He said, some of our best work is when we lose. And I said, that is so perfectly said. I wish I could have said that, because when you lose, you could have got destroyed, carried out, buried. Okay. They never go, man, you guys did a good job. You managed that pretty good. Like when Tiger Woods won the last time that I was in the book, the town got destroyed. We broke even at CG. And, Tony D, who was in charge, was telling us, you guys really did a good job with that. No one outside of the 3 or 4 of us that were watching it would have understood that. But then when the reports came out that books got carried out and, blah, 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 blah. And boy, him winning that tournament's going to set back the whole spring and blah, 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 blah. You do listen, when the dogs win, everybody wins when you're in the book. You don't have to be good at the job. You just take the bets most of the time, So I don't know. It's a really hard thing. And now that they got to do this publicly and have these calls, it's kind of amusing.
Oh, it's more than amusing. I think it's one of.
Oh, first freeze, 122 into the show. First freeze.
Oh,
come back. There it is. You're back. All right.
I think I froze during one of the interviews too, but I think.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, I think I did. Watch your speakers, boys and girls. In case you needed it. Congratulations to our friends at Circa. They have come up with a $100,000 Survivor contest, which I am stunned at that. And I cannot wait to see how many people are going to enter into a $100,000 Grandissimo. A Grandissimo contest for $100,000.
He guaranteed 1.5 million in it, so that's 15 people. I think they'll get that.
1.5 million.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
They'll get 15 million, or they'll get 15 people in it.
That's an incredible thing. So you could be one of 15 playing for 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll get that, no sweat. They'll get more than that.
Well, they got one. Our buddy Ian signed up. He didn't choose us as the proxy though, so that's okay. That's all right. That's fine. Yeah, that's different. I didn't see that one coming. They said it'll be about 20 to 25. I don't know. Maybe
15 million guaranteed for Survivor, 6 million for Millions.
Yeah.
So Survivor goes up, Millions stays flat, which is the right call.
Yeah.
I think we'll get over 15 million in Survivor this year for it.
Feels like it. Somebody asked earlier in the show, in the chat, when is the Survivor show season 2 coming out? They're working on it right now. So they're working on some editing and some different things. And
gotta get that out now. Gotta get it out this summer, way before.
They want to wait until August. I don't know.
Oh gosh,
put that out next week.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I know what they're thinking is everyone's gone for the summer and whatnot. Everyone's on vacation, but boy, oh boy, I would get that thing out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Prime, get people fired up about playing in the tournament or about playing in the contest, get them to come to Vegas, book their trips. I mean, did you see what MGM is doing for room service? Did you see that story?
I don't even know what to say.
Did you see it?
Charging?
No, worse. They're charging you. You have two options. You either have room service on plates or room service takeout. Room service takeout is $10 with plastic forks and cardboard boxes, or real forks and plates, and that's $25.
25. I saw the 25 option.
Like
in addition to whatever everything.
In addition to all the taxes, in addition to what you're paying from a premium standpoint, where a burger is $50 and everything else, plus the tip that you're paying for the person to bring it up.
P-Road, I don't know what we're doing. I really don't.
Taking shotguns and blowing our own foot off is what we're doing here in this town.
I don't like it at all. And I got a lot of friends that work in these places, and I see these things on social media. I get asked about it, and I'm like, it's almost like I'm embarrassed by it.
I am embarrassed by it because
living here, I can't tell you like, oh yeah, go stay on the strip. No, you're gonna get kind of, taken advantage of. It stinks.
I don't know. It makes no sense to me why you would ever charge someone to eat with a fork. I'm going to charge you to eat with a real fork. Like, this is the level of pettiness of nickel and diming this town. The town of a $15 steak and lobster dinner is now coming at you and charging you $25 for a real plate and silverware.
Yeah, those days are over. Like the talking about the glory days and how it was built and all that. Base hit for the Braves now, first and second. Oh, first and third with 2 out in the 9th. Boy, the Phillies bullpen is.
It's just crazy because like I drove when I drove to Utah over Memorial Day weekend. You drive through Mesquite, and like you see the signs like you used to see in Vegas, like $22 seafood buffet.
Oh
you just see you see the stuff that like, oh right, that's right. We used to do that. Like we used to have those comped buffets. Hey, we'll give you a free drink. Come here and play for an hour at blackjack, and you get a free. We'll take care of your drinks. Like it's just wild. It's where we are is just a very strange place in this town. I don't understand.
I don't like it. I don't like it. And so far, they've been able to get by without the repercussions of people just.
But 3 straight quarters of going down
visitation,
visitation and strip revenue has gone down. Now they're making more money, but gross revenue has been down.
Convention business is up.
And they're winning, and people are losing. The big rollers are coming in, and so they're still winning. Gross gambling revenue, though, is down. Overall money being bet is down 3 straight quarters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not just international travel. You can't just blame. There is some international issues, but it's not all because of them. It's not that. Not the whole. It's a bigger problem than that. People coming from California used to come over on spur of the moment trips. Aren't doing it anymore because it's too expensive.
Right.
You don't have the money to do it, unfortunately. It stinks. We've ripped on your team long enough. We can rip on my team now because this is the exact opposite of what any Patriot fan was hoping to see. That pink bag that girl is holding is called Tucci. I had no idea what Tucci was before yesterday.
Okay.
I thought it was Coke. I've never done Coke. I've seen white Coke, never seen pink Coke. And so I asked, is that different? Is pink Coke different than white Coke? And I got a whole litany of answers for a lot of people who wanted to comment about their knowledge of this substance. So I guess it's a combination of cocaine, ketamine, ecstasy, and fentanyl. And they put dye, pink food coloring dye, to dye it pink. This is what Stephon Diggs had on his possession and was handing it out to 3 girls on video. Patriots are not happy about that.
I don't know who is
Mike
in all of this. Like
furious.
Yeah, this sounds like a very, very not good thing.
For a guy who just signed a
NFL,
3-year
Patriots,
deal.
Vrabel, Diggs. This is bad.
Well, somebody told me that it gets out of your system really fast. So that's why people take it. So it's like he's in the offseason. He's not at OTAs. Patriots are there working out. No Stephon Diggs. Offense is working. No Stephon Diggs. So that's not good. He's saying my knee's not ready. Okay, but you're on some party boat on video handing out drugs, illegal drugs to 3 girls, and now the league has to take notice. The Patriots have to take notice. Mike Vrabel can't let that go. It's his first year on the job, so he can't let a veteran like Stephon Diggs get away with this. So he has to throw the hammer at Diggs. Like the whole thing is bad, all the way around. Really bad for the Patriots. I'm not saying you don't bet over on win total for the Patriots. I still think over 7.5 is a really good bet. I think 8.5 at plus money, although I've seen books move it to 8.5 already. So we've seen a full jump up a win for the Patriots from 7.5 to 8.5 at certain books. It was 7.5 minus 140, and they listened to you and moved the damn number, and now it's 8.5 minus 110.
Okay.
Used to be get plus money on the 8.5, but I still think it's a good bet. But boy, oh boy, that is no bueno when it comes to what's going on with the Patriots on that. It's definitely, I don't know what he's doing on video. On top of that, like it's one thing if there's some type of like, oh, his girlfriend was on the boat too, Benny. Oh God, that's brutal. Was that one of the 3 girls? One of his girlfriends? One of the 3? I thought he was dating Cardi B. I thought he went to the Knicks game with Cardi B, and one of those girls was not Cardi B, unless I'm completely off. So I thought that was his girlfriend, was Cardi B. But
I don't know.
It was all bad, all bad, all the way around, all around bad. This is where, like, when you're in the news in the off season, it's never for a good thing.
Right.
It's always for something negative, and it's always not. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. He's dating Cardi B. That's what I thought.
Thanks, Nikki.
Yeah, he's dating Cardi B. He's dating the rapper Cardi B. So, who the hell knows? The whole thing's a mess. The Patriots want to go away fast. Vrabel looked as uncomfortable as I've ever seen him yesterday, being peppered with questions about the video, just not knowing what to say and how to say it and who to say it to.
Phillies just closed it out 5-4. Romano had the bases loaded.
Woo! Got it done.
Phillies won 5-4. So
there
game 1 in the books. Now you got tremendous game tonight. Wheeler and Sale, 7.5. Just bet the game under.
Oh,
yeah, that was going under.
Sale can get lit up though.
Under.
Under. Okay.
Yep. I was going to say that's my better to book it today.
Oh, I would bet it. I don't mind it.
Okay.
I don't mind it, but it's still. I'm always worried about Sale. It's at Philly, right? It's in that ballpark in June and May. Ooh, that ball can fly. But Sale's been really good. Sale's been a strikeout machine for the Braves so far this year. So don't mind that. Yeah, Sale lots of Ks. Don't mind that, Jimmy Football. Go ahead and bet him on that first 5 under. Like first 5 under.
Was it 3.5 or 4?
I don't know. Let's say it's 3.5. It's 3.5.
I'd rather be 4. If we can get under 4, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about today. Favorite thing about today is what?
2 things. 1, me being back in this chair, seeing you doing the show. That's number 1. And number 2, 21 years ago today, Jess and I got married.
No way.
Yeah, 21 years ago today. May 29th.
Happy anniversary.
Yes,
I feel like your anniversary was yesterday. That's how many shows we've been doing. I feel like we had this conversation. It was 20 years. Like yesterday for you guys. Wow.
21 years ago, we did a beach wedding here in Vegas. Was awesome. About 100 people. We'll probably talk about it later today. It's alarming how many people are in the video that are no longer here with us.
Oh God.
We see it, between her dad, my grandmother, one of her aunts, like that. There's just so many people that came out because when you say you're having a wedding in Vegas, you're like, it's a small wedding. We're gonna just invite, so and so. Everybody said yes. So we anticipated in May, Memorial Day weekend around it, it was that time. We didn't think a lot of people or some people might say no. And everyone we invited said yes. And we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to be great. So, yeah, it was fun. But that's today. And shout out to Jess. My favorite thing about today, our anniversary. I don't know even if we're having dinner tonight. We'll see. But
Well, to ask because you guys have the birthday tradition where the birthday person picks the place.
yeah,
What's the anniversary? Is it both of you pick? You flip a coin? Like, how do you get that?
yeah. I don't know because we have we've been away for a couple days,
Mhm.
getting some stuff checked out and everything else. So today is her first day back to work.
Oh gosh, she's buried.
Buried.
She's buried. Okay.
So I don't know exactly what that's going to entail later. So I offered after Sports Grid tonight. I'll be on with Wetzel.
Nice.
After 7. If you want to go grab something to eat, just the two of us, that's fine. If you want to bring the kids, we can do that too. But I'd rather just be the two of us. One day a year where we can just go and talk about that. But we'll see.
I have 2 things. One, obviously, well, I guess 3 things. The first being, yes, being back on the air with you and doing the show. It's great. So we'll be back tomorrow. Roll call Friday tomorrow should be a lot of fun. So we got that going tomorrow. Number 2, I love the fact that our 2 daughters are friends. And I love the fact that Madeline and Kendall both got to go do something that Kendall really loves. And so she went twice to go see Hamilton, and Madeline, initially her mom had purchased for her and one of her other friends, and he couldn't go. And so Maddie's first, like literally the first thing my Maddie's mom said to Madeline, who else do you want to bring? She goes, Kendall, like quickly, 100% Kendall. And she was like, why? She goes, she loves Hamilton. Like she loves Hamilton. I want to take Kendall. So you guys were in LA, and I was like, I got to figure out how to set this up, Madeline. I was like trying to text Kelsey first, and I was like, hey,
yeah,
I know your parents aren't home, but like Madeline wants to take Kendall to go see Hamilton. How do we get this to be set up? So I was super excited that they both went, and they both had a really good time. And I had no idea that Kendall was that. I knew she liked it, and I didn't realize that she was like that into it. Like she absolutely loves it.
Oh, you see that picture that I posted? Yeah. I mean, she dressed up in costume to go see it. And the line when she said she wanted to dress up was, I mean, like they're so good. Like they come back at me with different things, and Jess, they're so witty. Kendall's like, you dress up for all your shows. I was like, I looked right at Jess. I go, she's right.
She's not wrong.
She's right. She wanted a hat. She wanted the whole thing, and she got 26 compliments when she went to Jess in that costume. She had 26 compliments, and one person thought she was part of the cast.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
So that was
That's cool.
Very cool. You know, your guys' seats were on the floor.
Oh.
We were a little bit higher.
Is that good or bad? I don't know. I don't know what Teresa did.
No. She got him seats on the floor.
Okay.
A little different experience down there.
Yeah.
We had, we got kids in college. We're like getting seats on the floor. You know what I mean? So
I don't know how she got them. I didn't have. It wouldn't shock me if Teresa didn't pay for them. I don't know. I don't know how.
I don't know, but they got good seats, so it was fun. And Kendall was very appreciative because she got to see it twice.
And finally, I have always like prided myself on my eyes. Like I've always said, like I have pilot vision. Like I can see, I can read so far, like so much farther than anybody else. I can read tiny print really far away. And we finally uncovered the idea of what put me in the hospital when I was having what they thought was the stroke and turned out to be the complex migraines. We've now whittled this all the way down that it's my eyes that are doing this to me. Today, I'm going to go from, I've had my eyes checked at like my general doctor. Like I've just gone and had like basic, here's a chart and you read it and I can pass it because I can see things. And the further they put me away, the easier it is for me to read it. So if they have you stand across the room, I can read anything. It looks like I got great vision. Well, today at 2:15, I have to go to a real eye appointment and actually they're going to give you all the different things, all the different. I have to sit there like a normal person, something I've gone 48 years without having to do. And I'm officially a middle-aged man. It's official. So I'm going to be unfortunately having.
Welcome.
wear real glasses and real these are blue light glasses. In case you guys haven't noticed, I stare at screens so much. I knew at least that to block myself from all the screens I've been looking at for the last. I average about 15 hours a day on screens, just FYI. So that I'm sure is not helping my overall vision.
Nope.
But now I've never had contacts. I've never had a prescription. I've never had to do with all of that. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna yes. Eye docs suck. Welcome to old age. 100%. So hopefully that stops the migraines though. So if that's going to be, if that's a trade-off, that I stop having these ridiculous debilitating migraines.
Right.
Okay. I'll deal with it if that's going to happen, but it sucks. Just no way around it. I'm like, son of a, I thought it was, I'm no longer going to say I've got pilot vision and perfect vision. So we are back tomorrow for a roll call Friday, guys. Hopefully to see all of you back, same place, same time tomorrow. If you guys are on the replay crew, thank you for being here. We may do a bonus time tomorrow just because that's what happens on roll call Friday, but no bonus time today. He is Dave. I'm Matt. We're back tomorrow for an RCF BvB.